Saying that, don't worry about this. I'm going to start the recording now, and here we go. Okay, so this is OET Medicine Writing. It's the final class. I think it's been a very interesting week. These case notes are some of the most difficult case notes I've ever seen, and also you guys know them quite well. So I think we've written some really nice paragraphs. The ones that I've seen, they've been very high level. Let's have a look at the final two now in this series and see if we also have very high level writing, okay? As usual, I'm going to try and do three things in the class. So let me just share my screen. Can everyone see my screen here? Oh, wait a second. This is why I always check.
No.
What about now?
Yes, right.
Yes, now we can see.
So as usual, start off with a review, then grading, and then because it's the last class today, we can have some question and answer at the end. We can really go into it if you want. So this is the plan. Let's get started. Let's start with Hasina. Hasina, could you say hello?
Hello, good morning.
One more time, Hasina. Name of patient, condition of patient, age of patient. Can you tell me?
Yeah, she was Sarah Day, and she has developed some neurological condition. So we are referring her to a neurologist.
It's a referral to a neurologist.
I forgot the age actually.
Can anyone help her with the age?
20.
20
years old.
Referral to a specialist. And there's a I suppose we should mention there's something important, isn't there? On the final day, today's visit, she reveals. What does she reveal, guys?
She reveals an accident.
Accident with partial injury.
Yeah. So this is a classic case notes, and we were talking this week about how old they are, probably more than 10 years old. Many doctors and nurses will have written these case notes in the past. We're writing them this week, and on Monday, of course, what did we do on Monday? We looked at the case notes, here they are, and we produced a plan. The plan had 6 paragraphs. Does anyone remember the structure of our plan that we produced? There was introduction paragraph.
First visit, second visit.
Timeline.
No, second 2 visits, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I always call that a timeline. Then we had
Request and then background and request.
no, first visit, timeline, today's visit.
Oh yeah, today visit. Yes.
What was next? Anyone remember?
Request.
Background.
And requests. Okay, so this is what we produced, and we did this on Monday. We discussed it on Monday. What did we do on Tuesday, Farouk? Just reviewing now. What did we do on Tuesday?
We checked the introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same every time, isn't it? As you know, but if you're new in class, there's a few people who are new today. Monday, we always plan the letter. Tuesday, we write paragraph 1. Wednesday, paragraph 2. Actually, we did these two, didn't we? Wednesday.
No, just first visit. So.
This one, you're right. This was Wednesday, wasn't it? Then Thursday, what did we write, guys? Everyone?
2 visits.
Thursday.
Timeline.
And this was tough. This has been a very tough week for writing because there's so much information here that is relevant. There's a lot of relevant information here. Let's see if we can remember any errors from yesterday. Normally, I like to review this, well, yeah, let me ask Igor if he's available, Layla, Lucinda, Iman.
Yes.
Do you remember any errors that we saw on Thursday, things that stick in your mind? Can anyone help her? Things that we...
yesterday?
Extra information.
There was people not summarizing, right? Not summarizing. So, for example, Charles and Norzad, it's a bit too long here, right? What other errors did we see?
Grammar tense mistakes, I think.
There was some small tense mistakes. Yeah. What else?
Commas, mistake.
There was commas, articles. Yeah, these are always. Are they important? How important is say a comma error or an article error?
Not too much.
It's one of the criteria.
Usually it's not a big deal unless it's confusing. If you do something that's like really confusing the reader, maybe it can be important. But
If we added we looks professional and didn't think
Yeah.
that we know English very well. So it's
Exactly.
important, you know, because we are sending for Australia.
So the main thing, yeah, exactly. And the main thing, guys, was summarizing, wasn't it? Not summarizing. What about Wednesday? What were the errors we remember from Wednesday? So first visit. Does anyone remember any errors from the Wednesday class? I wrote some down, but I thought maybe you guys can tell me what you remember.
From first visit, I think the problem with the first visit was like lots of irrelevant information has been included in some places, and also joining of ideas were not too much logical.
You guys were getting really into this, but let's call
repeated,
which
I could find it.
Okay, paragraph organization.
Yeah.
Some repeating, some. It wasn't really that bad though. But yeah, there was a few. I liked the discussion because we were really thinking, okay, how do you organize inside a paragraph? That's
intra-paragraph.
Paragraph organization. Now, Fareed, that's going to get you, if you want to get 400 or you really want to get a high score, it's that intra-paragraph organization that's really going to, make you stand out in the exam.
Like,
go on.
Yes, like aura, pain are connected to the top sentences. So we should take all these because headaches, aura, loss of vision. So it should be connected in one idea.
Yeah, putting all of the neurological symptoms together. Exactly. Now, does anyone remember the most important thing on Wednesday, though, guys, was I was saying too much summarizing. Remember, we had a big sort of argument about this?
Yes.
Class. And why am I saying here you should summarize and here you should not summarize? Bibi, can you say hello? Why is it that sometimes summarizing is good and sometimes summarizing is bad? Bibi, could you tell us?
Yeah, it depends on the specialist, I think, and it depends on who we write the letter. For example, in this letter, if we summarize too much, and the neurologist wouldn't know about the symptoms and any other things, I think.
I agree. So it's connected to the reader. It's also connected to which paragraph, right? Connected to the reader and the paragraph. Well, one second. Let me just nominate a few people. I want to test a few people's understanding of this point. Jasmine, could you say hello? If it's all right, Jasmine, it would be great. Or Iman? No? Just let me know if you can't talk, guys, in the chat. Maria, Michelle.
Yes, good morning.
Hello, Maria.
Yes, sir.
So why is it dependent on the paragraph? Why is this paragraph more important than this one? Why is that first visit one more important than the second visit one?
Because information about second visit has just information about symptom. It's worsen.
Yeah, I know there's some extra ones, but have they changed a lot in these visits? No, not really. Right? There's not.
No.
They're worsening. There's some neck ache, right? There's a few extra ones, but it's not
just medications.
It's not like a big list of very detailed symptoms like here. Okay.
Yes, it's not detailed.
So when we're summarizing, actually, wait a second. What does summarizing mean, guys? What does summarizing mean? Summarize.
Make it short or brief.
Shorter.
To make shorter, yeah, to make shorter.
Concise.
It's really important to do it in the right place. And I hope, Najibullah, you don't mind me saying, sir, Najibullah, in the past, I've told you were wrong, remember? Because the paragraphs are amazing. He's a really good writer, but sometimes he's writing really, really big ones at the wrong time. Do you remember that?
Yes, Alan.
You're getting better with this now, okay? But I really think, guys, a really important skill and something we can learn from this week is you've got to think where you're going to summarize. Why am I saying this? Because when I did my OET training, okay, when I did a CPD for OET, they showed us real letters. They showed us real letters and they said, you should grade that letter. And then they showed us the real grading. Does that make sense? When I saw the real OET grading, like this is a C+ because, they were often criticizing over summarizing. What does that mean, guys? That can be criticized. Too much, over, right? So they showed us examples of people over summarizing. Summarizing is not always good. You have to do it in the right place, I suppose, is the big learning here. Now, today, that brings me to today, because Friday, what are we doing today?
Request and
The
background.
final paragraph.
On background and request.
Are we summarizing here, or are we going into lots of details?
No,
Summarizing.
Summarizing.
Backgrounds are almost always summarized. Almost always you don't go into too much detail, unless there's something that you really think. Maybe if I'm writing to a dietitian, will I summarize a background if I'm writing to a dietitian?
No.
Maybe here for the dietitian, it's really important, the lifestyle, right? So maybe I won't. But usually you're going to try and reduce it down, get to the main ideas, and not really try and go into too much detail, okay? Sometimes with medication, you won't summarize. Why would you not summarize medication? When do we summarize medication? Anyone? When do we summarize medication?
We are sending for dietitian or sending for a care home nurse, something, not nurse, no, sorry.
Occupational therapist.
Yeah.
Doses.
Occupational
Okay.
therapist, you know?
Let me give you a more specific example, though, like dosages, right? Do I include them or not? This is like summarizing, right?
Yeah. It is essential, of course, yes.
Okay, so that's Farouk's answer. Let's get some other answers as well.
Okay.
Anyone? When do I summarize medication? When do I not? Kumar's, Volkan, Michelle, Christina, don't be shy. We'll start in a second with looking at the work. Bibi?
Also times per day. For example, 2 times, 3 times.
Yeah. Okay, so when am I going to be not, when do I put that in a letter in general, and when do I not put it in? Guys, the answer is, does the reader, well, how about this? Is the reader monitoring the medication?
A cardiologist. No.
Right? If they're monitoring the medication, do I need the dosages?
Yes.
Everyone, yes.
Of course.
Right? So if they're not really doing anything specific with the medication, you can summarize it. Okay, but here's the tricky bit. So I'll ask Fareed and Charles. What if I'm writing to a specialist? Will he need dosages?
No.
No. Sometimes it depends on the
Sometimes,
medication
yeah.
you are talking about. Yeah.
Exactly, Charles. You just need to think, okay, what type of specialist is it, and what is the medication? Is it connected directly to the specialist job? Okay, so it's all
For
about
example,
when do we summarize medication? When?
Yeah.
Go
For
on.
example, like a psychiatrist, or when we use some medicine, like dosage, especially for psychiatrists, this is more important. Some medicine like we use in the epileptic.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So guys, I'm just going to summarize this for you and say, think about how directly connected it is to the reader task. What is the reader task, guys? Remember I said this on Monday? Ahmad, do you remember this, BB? Reader task?
Yeah.
So give me an example. Give me an example of a reader task.
Investigation and management.
Investigation and management, care and support. What else? What are reader tasks, guys?
Management.
Monitoring.
Management.
ongoing care.
Assessment.
Okay. So that is the answer. Okay. Very long speech about summarizing. I think in future classes for grammar, we will look at summarizing and how you can do it. Maybe even next week we can look at summarizing. Okay. Because there's many different ways to do it. You don't only do it in one way, okay? All right, so I've been talking a long time. I want us to move into now looking at your work, all right? If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to say goodbye. This is just a quick taster of the class. Everyone else, you know the score. I'm going to show you examples of your work, and I'm going to ask specific people to do the corrections for me. I'm not going to tell you what's wrong. You tell me first, you tell me what's wrong.